What do you do when a client leaves you a bad review? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder of the Pearl Lemon Group. We're a business growth and development agency based in the UK, USA, as well as serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 78, we're here to talk about what you do when a client does leave you a crappy review. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 7 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, it is crappy when a client leaves you a bad review, and there's a series of steps I definitely say that you should explore, investigate when that happens. So number one, of course, you want to prevent the review in advance, and that goes without saying that ultimately, if a client has departed on bad terms, prior to departure, always be be kind, be nice, be respectful, be apologetic. So let's just write that out. Be nice, be kind, even when, be respectful, be apologetic, even when you think it's been a bad campaign, you think the client has unrealistic expectation, you think the client maybe has been a bully or otherwise. Be nice, be kind, be respectful, be apologetic that I'm sorry that we didn't meet your expectations. I'm sorry that it didn't work out as we both hoped for. I'm sorry it's not gone to plan. All of those things, don't place the blame upon yourself. You're just sorry for the outcome, okay? And irrespective of what happens, irrespective of how the client manages or handles you or doesn't manage or handle you, you can still say those things. So preventing the review in advance through the language that you use to communicate with the client in person, on email, or over the phone is powerful, okay? Now, the second element, if a client does leave a bad review, is ask them to remove it, okay? So just ask. So asking them to remove it, again, is just a case of, hey, Frank, so sorry that it went sideways, and totally understand why you have left the review. We'll be honest and say that we're always working hard to improve, and in this instance, of course, it didn't go to plan. If by any chance you could at least just remove this review, you would do us a really, it would be a huge, massive help, because this has actual massive ramifications for our general ability to function as a business, because even before we're given the chance to, for example, present, what we can do, because as you know, we're going to work and we're going to work hard to improve, so that the lessons learned from our campaign, be brought forward into new campaigns. We're not even going to be, given a chance potentially. So, if in any way you can remove this review, we'd really appreciate it. But using the I, if you're the account manager, is much more powerful. People like to respond to people, not amorphous companies. I'd really appreciate it, because it would really affect our just ability as a business. So that's one example of the way that you can phrase it. I'm using the nice, kind, respectful, apologetic approach, and I'm just asking them to remove it. And 5 out of 10 times this will work. Okay, just asking them to remove it will work. Okay, simply just making the ask and phrasing it as a plea, as it really hurts us, even as we improve, it'll still hurt us. So phrases like that can help. You're pulling on a bit of the client's emotional heartstrings, but also their understanding of how damaging a bad review can be. So asking them to remove it. The third element is asking them what you need to do to get this removed, okay? So in some instances where, for example, you've done action number 1, they still leave a bad review, you execute action number 2, they refuse and or ignore you, you can action number 3, which is, well, what do we need to do to get this removed? What can we do? And in those instances, a client might ask for, full refund, partial refund, continuation of services, or some such element, and you need to make a determination as to what feels appropriate in that situation. And again, it depends upon what you think is fair or what your company think is fair. Typically, a client has left a bad review because they've been unhappy and they have, for example, demanded a refund and or continuation of services, and we felt that their unhappiness was unwarranted and their desire to seek compensation in the form of a refund or additional services was unfair or without a sound basis. And as a consequence, even though we were nice, kind, respectful, and apologetic, they still left it. So you can ask them what you do need to do to get it removed. Sometimes they'll say we won't remove it, but you can just ask them and then make a determination or decision as to whether that's something you can accommodate. Now, in all of those instances, if you think a client has left you a bad and unfair review, like an unfair review, then you can look at flagging the review. So if you are someone, well, I say flagging the review depending upon the platform. So flagging the review is really a case of, for example, with Google reviews, you can flag a review as inappropriate. On many platforms, you can flag a review as inappropriate, especially when there's been, for example, personal character attacks or stuff that doesn't reflect, or stuff that feels extraordinarily biased in some such way. So flagging the review can definitely work. Contacting the platform's administrators can work. So the platform's administrators would be, the people that ultimately review reviews on the platform, their watchdog, if you will, and explaining your reasons for why the review should be removed if it's got ultimately illegal or false or libellous claims. There's no harm in ultimately contacting the platform's administrators. So if all of those elements fail, that you have been nice and respectful and apologetic, they still left a bad review, you ask them to remove it, you tell them that this is going to really hurt us, is there any way you could remove it? They say no, or they ignore. You ask them, what do you need to get this removed? They ask for something that you just think is unacceptable, and or they say it's never going to get removed. You can look at flagging the review if you think the review is unfair. If that doesn't work, you can contact, or if there's no option to do that, you can contact the platform's administrators. And then if that doesn't work, you need to then write a response, and you need to write a balanced, measured, and fair response. So be nice, be kind, be respectful, be apologetic. So working on something that ultimately communicates, we're so sorry it didn't work. These are the challenges with this campaign, for which we felt that it ultimately didn't quite end as you state it in the review. But regardless, there's been some lessons learned, and we're always trying to improve, and we'll take this forward. So, writing a response that's balanced, that's neutral, that ultimately defends your position without aggressively attacking the client is definitely the most important thing that you can do about it. So write a balanced response, and then you, for the seventh thing, get multiple new reviews. Reach out to current or past happy clients, get some detailed new reviews to push the bad review down. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 7 strategies that you can engage upon when a client leaves a bad review. So please do comment if you've got some takeaways for this video. And again, as I said, we'd love if you could subscribe to keep getting videos like this. Thank you.